everyone, my name is Paige. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have another Pony Problems with Paige episode for you, and let's get started. Okay, the first question comes from Noah Briggs, and she asks how to talk to a new instructor about not being confident. Okay, the first thing I think you kind of need to ask yourself is this instructor going to make you do anything that is going to put you in danger? If not, then I would try as best you can to go and do everything that the instructor asks you to do everything that the instructor encourages you to do, because you're going to get so much more out of it, and it's just going to be such a enjoyable experience. Now, second of all, I'm sure that most instructors are writers themselves and have always experienced times when they don't feel confident. And just remember that they are still real people. They still don't feel confident in some situations. And just say to them, go up to them, say, oh, sorry, but I'm not really feeling confident right now. If they ask you to do something you don't want to do, that's completely fine. Just say, oh, I'm not really comfortable doing that right now. Can I maybe do it in trot? Or can I do the smaller one? Can you put a rail down? That's fine. Most instructors will be okay with it. But you've got to get to the point where you yourself have to be willing to take the risks. And as soon as you take the risks and you achieve the risks, your confidence goes up so much. You telling your instructor that you're not confident is not going to change the fact that they're still going to drill you. They're still going to be your instructor. They're not going to treat you very differently. So I don't think you really need to talk to your instructor about not being confident. You can if you want to, but I think it's more about try and take the risks that they're asking you to take. That Welsh pony asks, my pony swings her head up and tries to take off when in trot. She's okay on serpentines or circles, but not going large. When we go large, she tries to canter and is quite strong. Any tips on dealing with a strong horse? First off, I'm going to start off with the serpentines and circles thing. If you're going large and your horse tends to kind of race off a little bit whenever you're on the large, all I like to do is just do mini 10-meter circles. If as soon as my horse starts racing off, I either come to a dead halt or I do a mini 10-meter circle. And eventually your horse will start to realize, oh crap, every single time I do go, I'm getting pulled back and I'm going to have to stop, so there's no point really going. The reason I think personally why horses, I'm not sure if this is a technical reason, but the reason why I think horses are a bit more strong on the large than they are on serpentines or circles is because in a circle and in a serpentine, they're using their back end to turn, they're using a lot more muscle, and they kind of have to think about their turn, and it takes the mind off rushing. Whereas when they're on the large, all they see is a little bit of an expanse where they can get there quicker. So what I would recommend doing, tips on dealing with a strong horse, not just with the situation, but my tips on dealing with a strong horse are try and use your body as much as you possibly can. If you're trotting, use your rise to slow them down. If you're cantering, put the heaviest seat on possible. The more you pull, the more they'll pull back, and they try and build resistance against you. And let's be real, mentally we might win, but physically we're not going to win, and they are stronger than us. So you kind of have to think of other ways to kind of alternate that, like rein pull as a sense of stopping by maybe deepening your seat, by slowing your trot in the rise. I did work with a strong horse, and I'll pop up a card right now, and if you go click on that, there are a few commentaries and a few videos of me working with a fairly strong horse, and you can kind of watch and see if you can pick up any of those techniques when I'm riding. But my biggest thing is try not to rely on your reins. Katie Hughes asks how to remember show jumping courses easier. Okay, you guys, so as you may or may not know, I wear these things. They are glasses. I do not wear them when I ride, therefore I can not see details when I ride. So that means whenever I go into a jump round or anything and there are numbers next to the jump, I do not see numbers. Ever. I can't see them. I can't see the number until I get about a stride out from the jump. So, for me, it's all about colours. I think colours are a great way to remember things, whether that be in school, whether that be with horses. I think colour is a perfect way to remember things. Just sit there with your eyes shut. So what I would say is pick each show jump is usually a colour. If they're not, then I'm sorry, you're a bit unlucky and this isn't going to work. But what I would do is I would say, okay, red, orange, blue, yellow, purple, red, orange, blue, yellow, purple, red, orange, blue, yellow, purple, red, orange, blue, yellow, purple. And then I would shut my eyes, I'd think red, orange, blue, yellow, purple. Then I'd go backwards. Also as well, if you're in an arena, or you're outdoors, you can pick markers from where to turn, and if you kind of pick your markers, when you turn, you kind of jump whatever jump you get to, if that makes sense. Okay, Ruby Costello asks, how do you stop a horse from cantering when you ask for extension and impulsion in the trot? Every time she's going at like 1/4 of her normal trot, I ask for a little bit more speed and she immediately canters. Ugh, it's so frustrating. I completely understand where you're coming from. Okay, my biggest advice for this would be your horse hasn't fully comprehended or is not being applied well enough the difference between a difference between a canter transition and the difference between extension and impulsion. So first off, what I would do is I would actually try and not get focus on the trot at first. I would go straight to the canter and I would be thinking about my transitions. So my idea of a canter transition, this is what goes in my head when I want a canter transition. I apply inside flexion, I get a bit of inside bend. If it's on a horse who's a little bit difficult to pick up the right canter lead, I will kind of raise my inside hand a little bit, that tends to help. I push on my inside leg, I slide my outside leg back, put on the pressure, and usually I get a canter transition. And it's very important that there's a clear definition between just putting your leg on and sliding the legs back and applying the aids. So what I would recommend doing is, at first, don't really worry too much about the trot. I would start trying to establish what the clear canter aids are. You should work on sitting trot and try and do sitting trot to canter transition, sitting trot to canter transition, but do them separately so that your horse knows the difference between a sitting trot with just sitting with a leg and canter transition with your outside leg sliding back. I would recommend in trot, if your horse takes off in canter, it is so incredibly hard. I understand, but actually try whilst you're bringing your horse back. Don't sit to the canter. Rise up and down to the canter. It's going to make your horse feel a little bit uncomfortable. They're going to want to come back to trot, which is one way. And also too, it's when you are trotting and your horse canters, if you sit to the canter, you are satisfying what they've done. You said, good job, you have succeeded. That's what you're telling your horse. So I would recommend keep rising, and that way their mind frame's gonna be like, oh crap, what's happening? Maybe I need to trot. But XOXO asks, XOXXOX asks, what's the best way to keep my schooling interesting for my horse and stop her getting bored? Is try, obviously, change up your routine. So by that I mean, if you ride in the arena most of the time, go out ride in an outdoor space. If you ride in an outdoor space all the time, go and ride in an indoor space. Change where your facility is. That would be really cool if you can kind of give that a go. If you are in a stage of schooling, make sure you give your horse leisure time. So you might take them out for a trail ride, or you might go spend some time in the paddock. Don't spend all your time schooling. I study hours on end. I can't retain information. It's impossible. So I need to have breaks and I need to go have fun. So make sure that in between your schooling sessions, you do spend time with your horse that isn't always schooling. Also too, now that you've kind of changed your facility, think about changing your routine when you ride. Typically for me, when I ride, when I'm saying just schooling a random horse, I'll get on the horse, I'll usually do kind of a few laps of trot on the left, a few laps of trot on the right, I'll do a few circles of left canter, a few circles of right canter, then I'll give my horse a long rein and let them relax, then I'll kind of go into the schooling session, then I'll do the long rein and then relax, and then I'll do, to finish, I'll do kind of a big relaxed open canter, a big relaxed open trot, and a big relaxed walk. So that's typically how my riding routine goes, but occasionally I'll change that up. You know, I might do the walk, and then I might go straight to canter. I might not do the trot, but changing up the routine, maybe shortening your cool down session and lengthening your warm up session, or just shuffling where you put breaks in your schooling routine every single time is a great way, because if you get in the same routine all the time, they're going to anticipate it, they're going to get bored, but if you change it up, really cool way to keep them interesting. A lot of like serpentines and loops and changing direction and stuff kind of perks them up a little bit, and they have to concentrate a little bit more on where they're going. Thanks for watching this episode of Pony Problems with Paige. I hope you really enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already. Just saying too, if you guys would like to see how I achieved this makeup look, I did a video on it on my second channel. If it's not already up, I'll pop up a card right now and you can go click on it. If it's not, it'll be coming up very soon, but go anyways. subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next week.